This the Prince of the Nightlife, DJ Melly Mel. Now tuned into the biggest Chanel, Simone, April B, Fluhead, Grewhead podcast. Are you dumb? NYC, the ATL. Yeah, Brooklyn, what up?
What's good, one? You already know the vibes. It is your favorite Brooklyn baddies in the building, Chanel Simone
and April B. And this is the
Fluhead, Grewhead podcast, where worlds collide no matter where you reside.
Ew.
Y'all like that?
That was good. That was insane.
Thank you. I was like,
did that.
Thank you. Now, y'all, you already know we have a special guest in the building. And I know we always say we got a special guest. Now, for real, we really do have a special guest in the building. Not only are they near and dear to me, but they're also, not like I said, not even that they're Albany State's finest, not that they entrepreneur, they run this and this and that. Y'all, you are looking at what the new wave of technology and Rideshare right in front of us. So y'all better take advantage of this. Y'all give it up for DeVynne and Jill. Yeah. Oh.
Come on, drop.
You already know, yes. That was a round of applause. Now, before we get into some things, guys, we are going to play a game.
Yes.
April, break it down.
All right, y'all. So we're going to play First Class versus Coach. Okay. In that big bowl of nothing, there are going to be some options in there. It's going to say this versus that. You tell us which one is First Class if you like it and which one is Coach if you don't. Now, if there's a tie, normally, y'all, we would take a shot. But in honor of our guest here, we're just going to watch them take the tie. Okay.
Right. So I believe it's 4. So each one of you all could just take one.
I think it's 3.
It's 3? Okay. So Jill will take one.
Okay, I'm going to take one.
All right.
Go ahead, open it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can read it. Mm-hmm.
Lyft versus Uber.
Okay, which one is First Class? Which one is Coach?
Both of them, Coach.
Oh, that's a tie.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait. Hold on. Wait. Oh, I didn't even pour me juice.
Sip to that.
Now listen, Jill. Mm-hmm. We know, of course, those are your competitors, right?
Yeah.
And we know you used to work for Lyft. But if you
had to pick?
Yeah. If you just had to pick. You said they both coach, but in a sense of your beliefs or who you feel like, you know what? If I just had to pick, I feel like, they're just.
I pick Uber.
It's first.
Yeah, I know, right?
I always go with Uber.
Yeah. I would because they were there first and they have more options. Their range expands outside of rideshare. You can do food delivery, you can do package delivery and stuff like that. So I would choose them.
Right. I think they're about to do something with pets. Like, Okay, well,
so I'll give them that.
Right. So technically, y'all both coach, but she being nice. So
yeah, real nice. Clearly.
Okay.
All right, DeVynne.
Which one you got?
What we got? Ooh, Deion Sanders at Jackson State versus Deion Sanders at Colorado State. We gotta go with Colorado.
Really?
Oh, y'all look at you.
Look at
you went against the grain.
I'm gonna go against the grain on this one.
Understood.
I just feel like honestly, he's great wherever he is.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you can bring your greatness somewhere and bring people along with you, like for the ride, like. Come on now. Big goat.
Yeah.
And I think people didn't give him his flowers on that one. It was a lot of like, it was
left, backlash.
You left this and that. I feel like, yes, he left, but he also brought people with him. And they have exposure they wouldn't have been like exposed to, like the opportunities they wouldn't have been exposed to if they stayed where they were at. So that's how I feel. So First Class
is Colorado. Coach is Jackson State. Jill, you look like you didn't agree with that.
She didn't, but I didn't agree with hers either, so it's okay.
I watched the documentary, so I would say that I do agree with DeVynne on her point with he brought everybody with him. Mm-hmm. The reason why he couldn't even stay at Jackson State is because they couldn't give him what he was asking for,
which is the money.
So
to take care of his family.
Yeah, and to take care of his family. He had a couple incidents that happened while he was there and everything. So I completely understand why he left. But yeah, I'm just HBCU, through and through. So I wish he would have somehow if they would have made it work, he could have made it work. But I understand why he left.
Yeah, and we of course we asked that question because we know y'all both HBCU grads, so that was a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people feel like once the white man dingles something in your face, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, but do
you feel like
I see that he's seeing a long-term goal? He's not going to be a college coach forever. He wants to be an NFL coach.
Yeah,
and so he's trying to take the quickest path. To get there.
So is it really super hard to be an NFL?
Yes,
you need the experience.
You need experience, connections, money.
Maybe because I look at you're Deion Sanders. like, why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah.
But even as Mr. Prime, they probably still like. So.
How many black coaches they got in the NFL right
exactly.
And look how many boys are going to be able to go with him, like, or or have that opportunity after college that may not have had that opportunity if they stayed where they were at. So.
And it helped him prove like he can do it, obviously,
He's
with the black
versatile,
kids,
right.
but to go to a state where they've never even seen a championship and then to predominantly white, you know, so it was like I could do it over here, I could do it here, I could do it anywhere, like so.
Yeah, Deion the GOAT.
Yeah, it's a goal.
For sure.
Yeah, Mr.
Missing
Prime
pinky toe
time.
and all.
Right.
Yep.
We got one more in there.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hold it down.
Social media marketing versus direct marketing. Dang, Devin, you should have got this one.
Y'all can both answer.
y'all both
Okay,
answer.
I'll put social media over because I like social media. That's where I live at. That's where I live and breathe over direct marketing. Because I'm more introverted when it comes to marketing. I'm a little shy and stuff like that. So I'll be more vocal and outgoing on social media versus direct.
Okay.
I feel like, this is a tough one. I mean, the world, of course, like everything's happening on social. But if we're talking direct marketing in regards to like collecting an email list and directly marketing to people that way, or doing like voice recordings and sending, we can't lose like. We already know newspapers are, fading away. Now we have digital magazines, and all those things are great, but we have to remember kind of how we got to social media, and some of those other avenues are still great avenues to directly connect with people. So if we're talking direct marketing in regards to those avenues and channels, then absolutely I would say first class there, because you're directly connecting with your niche. In a way, a little more intimately than you are able to do on social.
Okay.
And that's why she's the director of marketing.
And that's why we threw that question in there. Okay. Yes. Well, that concludes the first class versus coach, y'all. Thank you for playing.
Yes.
Woo! So we're gonna get into our check-in with who you from, where your mama them, and all of that thing. So one of the check-ins is, first of all, how did y'all meet? Where did y'all grow up? And tell us about your family life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go first.
I'll go first. How did we meet? I was Devin's RA. So I was Devin RA. Yep, Hall 5.
Oh, you sure was? You was on the third?
I was on the second
You
floor.
was on the second floor.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
don't play with me on that second floor. Shout out to the second floor girls. You know, I miss you guys. I miss being RA. That was really a fun time at ASU. But yeah, that's where we met. And then you said, what was the other one?
So y'all met at Albany State, and tell us where you're from.
Oh, I am from Athens, Georgia. So I'm from Athens, Georgia. I was born in Livingston, New Jersey originally, but I moved to Athens when I was 2. So I say that I'm from Athens. I'm 706.
Oh no, you from
you
from
from
Athens.
Athens.
Yeah.
Is it really where you're born or where you grew up?
I think it's where you grew up, in my opinion, because especially if you were born somewhere and then immediately moved, I don't think you can really claim that area. Yeah, so it's really where I grew up. And I mean, I got a country accent now, so I'm definitely 706 made. It's through and through. So yeah, I'm happy to be there. And then you said where my family from? My mother's side, they're from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And then my dad's side of the family, they're from Buffalo, New York. So
you just
All over.
you got a little bit of everything.
Yep.
All right, Devin, tell us where you from.
Well, I'm from Virginia, and I know y'all just said like, oh, if you move, but I go back all the time. And my daddy's from DC. He would definitely kill me if I did not come home. So my dad's from DC, mom's from Virginia. Really, my whole family is from that area.
Okay.
My dad was in the military. I moved all over, from Germany, then to Augusta, from Augusta to Albany, and then from Albany.
All right, so you knew about Albany before even.
No, what's crazy is I didn't know anything about Albany State. I found out about Albany State in Augusta. They do like a college fair every year at the stadium. I didn't even want to go to college, first of all. Let's start there. And then my friend was like, oh, I'm going. I was like, all right, bet I'll go with you, like to assist you, like cheering her on. And then I got there, and ASU, they brought the gospel choir. They did it big. They brought the gospel choir. They had people stepping, this, that, and the third. I was like, oh, this is like one of them movies. So I talked to them, and I think I applied there, and I got like some scholarships at a few other places for like their choirs. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to solely focus on ASU. And so I ended up going to ASU, but it really wasn't on my radar to go to school, nor was it to go to
So what, you was going to join the military?
Girl, I thought about the military, but that's not for me. But I don't know what I was going to do. I feel like I always knew I was going to own my own business and everything else. So That was kind of where I was like thinking about.
Yeah, you was a girl with a plan.
Yeah.
Because if you tell somebody I was gonna go to school, military was either the second one,
the other option,
or be a manager at Kroger or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I ain't never heard nobody say they gonna be a manager.
They probably not even
the manager.
No, they probably would stay working.
Like from high school and
yeah, like my goal is to stay at AT&T until I become.
I ain't never heard.
Not Kroger's. Like,
okay, yeah.
But some of them never even saw like the bigger picture. It's probably like, you know what? I've been a
Nothing
cashier.
against Kroger. I'm just saying I've never heard somebody be like,
like, you know what? You know how they work there in high school.
At Kroger. Like,
you know how they work there in high school. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna stay here, work
until I
here,
figure it out.
Yeah, and then hopefully be the manager.
Okay, let's move on, y'all.
How about this? Wherever you worked at, that's probably where you wanted to be the manager at.
This is true. That was in a 5-year plan.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about her ride. First of all, I love the merch. Like, can we show? Yeah,
Y'all
it's
go
like
purchase y'all hoodies online.
Yes.
Heride.com.
Right, and little do y'all know I stole this from them. Like,
Now you cannot buy that.
I was about to say, I don't
yeah,
think that's the.
yeah, this is the members only.
Okay.
This is until the podcast is done.
Got to be a team member for that.
Yeah,
one.
gotta be a team member.
But how did her ride come about?
Her ride came about because I used to drive Uber and Lyft when I first moved to Atlanta. I moved up here in 2017. I was trying to go pro for basketball, so that type of schedule worked best for my training schedule. I would be in the gym like 2-3 times a day. So driving at night just worked best for me. And then driving at night, I used to pick up a lot of women, and they would tell me like, oh, you know, I was canceling rides till I got a woman or recognized the woman's name. And I was like, dang, they ain't put an option on here yet for that. And so I was listening to, I'm big on podcasts, so I was listening to how this was built, how he built this. And they had the founder of Lyft on there. And so when I found out it was only 2 people that started Lyft, I was like, wait. Excuse me? I was like, wait, so only 2 people started this, and both of those people, like, one of the founders had my background. And I was like, so you mean I just need to find somebody that can sell something and then I can build this? So I was like, all right, bet I'm about to do this. So I just did some research. When I came up with the name, I sent it to a few of my friends, and I called them, and I was like, what do y'all think about like a rideshare company, you know, for women, you know, this name? They was like, that's actually really good. I was like, really? And so multiple people told me it was good. So the next day I trademarked it. I was like, I'll trademark this, and we about to get this going. And I didn't even have a company to develop the app yet, but I went and trademarked the name.
Wow.
So, first of all, that's big. What was the other names? I know this is the name now, but what was the other ones you kind of had?
She Ride. I was sitting in my car when I was doing it too. It was like She Ride. I think I went through like Her Rides with an S, and I was like, the S don't sound right. It was between She Ride, Her Ride, and something else.
I was about to say They Ride.
Yeah. But it just Her Ride made sense to me the way I wrote it, the way it looked. I was like, all right, this gonna make sense. I was like, it's probably not gonna make sense at first, but to women, when they see it,
it will make sense. Yeah. I got you. Now I know you talked about pretty much the conversations and how everything started. And I know you said you listened to the podcast, but was there ever a guilt in a sense of like, okay, yeah, I heard the podcast, it took 2 people, but nah, like, I don't think I could do this in a sense.
Hell nah. Nah.
You know what? Our last guest
said the same thing. They were like,
no. I think we live in a society today. Like, this is stuff April and I talk about, and we have big dreams, and we're like, oh, we want to do this and this. But when it's time to move, it's like... But then we talked to people. We hosted an event a couple weeks ago. Our last guest was like, yo, I never feared. And you over here like, girl, no. Yeah. So talk about your moment in the sense of like creating this, like, oh no, this is gonna happen.
It was just a moment of, I guess, a moment of clarity, I guess. But I do have a lot of confidence. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of confidence in my abilities. And so when I decided that I was gonna do it, I just knew that I was like, okay, Jill, if you're gonna do this, you can't half-ass this. And I've been known to like kind of be half-assed with a couple of my projects. I had a clothing line in college that probably could have got a lot bigger if I would actually put a little bit more time and effort to it.
What was it called? Beast. Yeah, I remember.
Yep. And so I was like, okay, Jill, if you're going to do this, you're going to go all the way in with this. Like, you're not going to half-ass this. You're going to go all the way in. You're going to do it the right way, and you're going to make this shit work. And so I was just fully committed to it because I was going through a period in my life where I needed to transition anyway. And so then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to look back. I'm putting my former life behind me, and we're just, we're going to move forward. But yeah, that's the confidence I led, and I was like, we're going to get it, or it's plan A, no plan B. That's kind of how how I've always been.
So the fact that you came up with this and it took 2 people, how did you pick your partner?
Yeah.
So DeVynne wasn't my first
stories.
co-founder. Yeah, let's talk about that.
You know what? Hold on. Let me say this, because when we read the articles, I saw another name. So I'm like, so this was never DeVynne's name.
Yeah, so
Let's get into it.
yeah, let's get into that.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of co-founders that I've gone through. DeVynne is actually my 3rd co-founder.
Wow.
Yeah. So my first co-founder was a lady named Pam. So she didn't work out mainly because when I brought on my second co-founder, that lady got jealous of her. And so I don't know, it was weird because we weren't even making money then. I don't know, it didn't make sense. But she didn't really appreciate that. So I was like, well, Pam, you got to go, because at the end of the day, this is my company. So if you're making someone that's
Pam
actually
was
helping,
jealous of the second person, or the second person was jealous of Pam.
Yeah, which is Miss Harris. So
Okay, Miss Harris.
Yes. So the second co-founder, she came on. Yeah, she came on, and she was helping out. She did help us out. So during COVID is when Miss Harris came on board, and so her role when she came on board was to be the face of the company at the time, because I had to step back. I had to take a step back, and so I needed her to be the face. And so that was also the same time COVID happened. So we weren't even given rides during that time, and we actually wanted to focus on social media, and that's what she was actually good at. So she became the face for us. She would do what I told her to do, which in terms of like posting certain things. And so the post that actually went viral on Twitter was something that I told her to do. I got up that morning, I was like, hey, I see that this trend is going on with because everybody was doing trends during COVID.
Everything
social media was popping. Like it was popping.
That
so
was
it was
the TikTok
and then
era.
Black Lives Matter had happened, and so there was a trend at the time that was going on where people were posting themselves, a picture of themselves and their business, and it was like the business or the owner and then the brand.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I woke up that morning, I said, Kirsten, go ahead and post this. I said, use a picture of yourself. She was like, you don't want to use a picture? I said, no, use a picture of yourself. And the reason I told her that is because Kirsten is a fair-skinned woman, and I was like, it's gonna play out well on social media. I said versus the just putting a picture of myself. She did it, and then I want to say she called me back like 15 minutes later. She's like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna go viral today, and I was like, so I told you. I told you. I was like, I told you. We did over 7 million impressions. 7,000 people signed up that day, and so that was really good, and it was working out pretty well. Until she just quit. She quit last year in February, something like that. We got off the phone, and she sent me this long text message, and she quit, saying that she
right
felt like,
then and there.
Yeah, she felt like she was being pushed out the company, a company of 2 people. She felt like she was being pushed out of, and so I just accepted her resignation, and then I was honestly kind of distraught when it happened because the news had just did a couple of articles on us. We were about to start gaining some traction. I'm like, wow, I just lost my co-founder. Like, this is crazy. And so, I went and prayed about it. And at the time, I was managing an artist. And so I hit up Cleavon, asked him for DeVynne's number. I was like, DeVynne's always been supporting since day one. And I knew DeVynne's history when it came to marketing and PR. So you just knew
instantly DeVynne was next.
Not even that. It's just, I just wanted to ask just to see, because I knew that she was in PR and I needed somebody that somebody that can communicate on behalf of the company, because I knew I wasn't good at that. And so I was like, I'm just going to, hit her up, see what she's thinking about. And I called her, and I'll let DeVynne take over from there.
Yeah, it was crazy. She called, and it was crazy because, like she said, she prayed, and she was like, oh, I was distraught. I feel like I had just, you have like New Year's resolution, like, oh, I'm going to do this and that. And me, I have like not always, for the most part, always like owned a business, and I'm always looking for like new ways to expand into new markets and, try new things. And I had just finished praying about like, I'm really interested in tech. I feel like tech is about to like blow up. I don't know why. And I like got the call from her like maybe a week and a half later. So it was really like, oh, this was just supposed to happen. So I talked to her. I had a lot of questions. I'm just that girl. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? Like, just be transparent. So we had just a real conversation. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
And so, wow.
Yeah, that's kind of how it
Not even,
happened.
I'll call you in 48 hours.
Yeah, it was that next day. I feel like we talked, and I was still thinking about it that day. But like by the next day, I had like an answer for her. So it just felt right, and I never really questioned. Like I'm like, oh, I prayed for this, and it happened. Like where it just came up. It didn't come up by like happenstance. It's not an accident. So yeah.
Yeah. Bow.
It's I just take it as God. Like it was just God. I don't know what led me to hit DeVynne up, but I thank God I did, because we've been working well ever since.
No, I didn't even know you had 2, but from the looks of it,
yo, I'm like,
and then even when I talked to DeVynne on her PR and marketing skills, I'm like, yo, what?
it was
DeVynne
like
turned us up.
It's a match made in heaven,
right? But you knew you couldn't. Well, not that you can, but you couldn't do it by yourself. You needed someone.
Yes, and especially when it comes to when you're in the tech industry and when you have an app and when you're going and trying to fundraise, that's a question that they ask. Like, do you have a co-founder? Is there somebody else? Yeah, are you doing this by yourself?
It can't happen by yourself.
No, it can't happen by yourself. They're not going to invest in you if you're a solo founder. It's very rare that they invest in solo founders.
That was like the number one question you got.
But you know what? Now that you think about it, not even in tech, like restaurants, just anything, you always realize it's
somebody else as a investor, silent partner, or something there.
It's never just somebody by themselves.
And one thing I want to highlight too is that me and DeVynne, we both understand our roles and just what we are doing in Heride. So like, I'm the face of the company, and that's cool and that's dandy. But like, DeVynne's okay with being in the background. And that's what my other co-founder wasn't okay with. And so it's like, she's okay with being in the background. She's okay with,
But you wanted to be in the background.
Yeah, I still want to be in the background. But, it's too late.
Let her.
It's too late now. Yeah. But, I've accepted who I am. And then also, DeVynne's also helped me a lot when it's just coming to like, breaking out of my shell, doing interviews, showing up to these places, like, because I won't do it. I will not go. Like, I will not go.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah,
I really am.
Yeah, and so DeVynne is the one that pushes me, and also DeVynne be checking me. So a lot of people don't realize that, because I'll get crazy on social media, and DeVynne be like,
I'll be seeing her rants.
Yeah,
I've been seeing a little bit.
Hit her with that quick type, ma'am. Take this down.
PR come right into play.
So over the last year, I will say I've definitely gotten a lot better on social media, especially with the way I reply, with the way I respond to people, and that's 100% due to DeVynne. So, shout out to her.
You gotta have somebody that balances it.
Yeah, it's good balance.
When April and I was working on y'all episode today, one thing about me, I have a vision, but I can't get it out, and April translate everything perfectly. And I'm like, see, April? She was like, you know what? It's the alley hoop. You throw the ball, I catch it. Bow.
That part.
Thank you. Stop playing.
Stop playing. Look at us. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. Every single time.
Stop playing.
Okay, so Heride, like, honestly, is a multi-million-dollar idea business, like, but that comes with great responsibility. So talk about the will to keep going, because clearly there in the beginning there were like some things right there that would have been like, all right, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. But talk about the will to keep going, especially when you're starting up such a niche business like this.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Strengthen your relationship with whoever you pray to. I would say that's the number one thing. My relationship with God got a lot closer during this time. Just my trust and my faith in him. This year, I actually made a post about it the other day. I've probably fasted more this year than I've ever done in my life. Now, mind you, I was born and raised in the church, saw everything. Like, I saw when our church used to participate in they used to participate in fast and stuff like that. And I used to be like, what is this for? Like, I didn't get it. Like, I never understood it until I actually decided to do it. And I was like, oh, that's why, because I didn't know what my purpose was yet. So I didn't know why I was fasting, because, you didn't have a reason to fast, because, I didn't really give myself a reason to fast. So been fasting a lot this year, been praying a lot, been trusting God, and just trusting myself, because I've been right. So I've been right, and I just need to continue trusting myself, because everything's been going right because of my decisions, because I've been trusting myself, because I've been patient. And so, I'm just going to continue doing it. Now, what keeps me the will? I'm just naturally competitive. I played 3 sports in school. Like, I refuse to lose. So, that's the thing that keeps me going, is I'm just naturally competitive. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I feel like when you're like revolutionizing a market or an industry, and then you start to see like what you're doing is impacting like their moves, that's enough for you to be like, all right, babe, I see you. We won't speak on it,
you
but
see me. I see you. We see each other.
Exactly. So, and you start getting in the same like buildings with people, you're on the same calls with people, you're like, all right, okay. So,
that's crazy, because me and Chanel be having those conversations too. Like, girl, did you see? We was talking to so and so. They called and requested us to be her.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we doing something right.
Yep. Doing something right for sure. Keep going.
Yeah.
And tech, it's on the outside looking in. Of course, we see like tech is the new trend. Like oh, we get a tech, we gonna make millions. And there's a lot of people like, just because you coded 2 little things.
No hell, you not. I'm just gonna let y'all know straight up. Also,
I'm gonna go to school for 6 weeks.
bad?
Oh,
The tech industry
is worse.
The tech industry is probably the slimiest industry out there. They will steal from you.
Yep.
Right.
If you don't have your paperwork in order, they will steal from you. They will do whatever. Like, they don't care. They don't care. It's very slimy. It's very dirty. And yeah, you just got to make sure you stay on your P's and Q's if you're going to get into the tech industry.
Yeah, it's never about who has the idea first. It's who has their paperwork done right.
Yes.
First, and also who is able to raise the capital
First.
Right. Especially the money,
Yeah,
of course. And that's one thing that April and I pretty much asked you, is in the sense of like, who taught you? Especially, you know, they say the assumptions like of black people, you know, y'all don't know nothing, but the fact that y'all coming with the bam, the paperwork, everything is done right. Like, who taught you those values, or who taught you like, nah, baby, if we're gonna do this, like, let's get this paperwork right? Because one little slip up it's over.
Shoot, that just really comes from me, my upbringing. My dad was really a stickler on like not half-assing things, and so my mother's like that too. So she is just like, if you're gonna do something, do it right and do it properly.
Right the first time.
So that's where I get that from.
Do y'all have a lawyer to go on?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Reba. Shout out to Reba. Yeah, don't make me send Reba on you, but I will. I'm about to start. I'm actually, it's okay.
No, Reba is that girl. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, Reba's that girl, and folks been playing with me, so they about to start using
well, that leads into our next question, right? So we know that Her Ride was created by women for women, right? And it's, which means you only hire women. So Jill, you have been very vocal about lawsuits that's been coming your way, right? That's been coming your way, especially by men, if I'm not mistaken. So how do you combat these discriminations with your company? Because you win them. Yeah, you show that, hey, they coming for me, you win them. So tell us about the lawsuits and the discrimination.
Wait, disclaimer before she begins.
Yes.
We hire more than just women. We only hire women drivers. So we do have men who work for us and can work for us, but they cannot be drivers.
Yes.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. So
that's why you need a marketing director.
But yeah, so that the lawsuit wasn't fun. It was actually scary, I'm not gonna lie. But if you get sued, that means you're doing something right in business. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you get sued for whatever it is, your business model, whatever it is like that means you're probably doing something right, or you're a disruptor. So when it came through, we actually got the person filed with the EEOC, and so I couldn't retaliate or file back or whatever. But he basically he lied. He said that he had a conversation with me, and I told him that we only hire men. I mean, we only hire women on the platform. We don't hire any men, and then just hung up on the phone. And then that cost me $5,000. Like him filing that man filing a complete and total lie cost us $5,000. And so, and so
this is what goes on
when you're an entrepreneur.
Yo, I would have got his address.
Oh, we have it. But it's like, there's no point, because one, we beat the case, so it's like, I won. Like,
could you sue him for owing you $5,000?
Because he went through the
EEOC. Figure this out.
Yeah, I wish we could have, but because he went through the EEOC, we can't.
He knew that.
Yeah, and but the thing about it is, now we have our case. So now we have proof that they can't do it again.
Anybody can't do it again.
No, I mean,
people might try.
People might try, but it's not gonna.
Yo, what if everybody did that $5? Yo, I'm not about to keep paying $5.
Oh no, I'm just gonna let the EEOC handle. Like, I wouldn't even hire a lawyer at that point, because we've already hired a lawyer, and the EEOC already found no cause of discrimination.
So at this point, it's handled. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, y'all about to piss me off.
But we hired the best.
That part,
We hired the best EEOC lawyer in the state.
What can we do?
Sure did.
And this is stuff people don't.
They don't know.
It's always a lot.
And you got to spend that money for real. You can't be scared. You got to spend it.
It's not yours to hold and keep, and you see the money, and it's like, oh, it's there, but I mean, it's there to be spent. So
it hurt me spending it, but
I know
we needed it. We had to do it.
Yeah.
And DeVynne, because you're also a partner in this business, but you're the marketing director, talk about how you pretty much keep the narrative of Her Ride making it true to the mission of the, without it tainting the reputation of the company.
Yeah, I think I tell Jill all the time, like, we just have to keep our blinders on, stay focused. We are looking at the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so, not the.
Yeah, it's just like,
we're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, but ultimately, in terms of marketing to our consumers, we understand who our consumers are, and we are marketing to a very niche group of individuals. And so those who choose to, support Her Ride and, they are a part of that small market that we're trying to captivate right now. So we don't care about, taking over. We understand who the giants are. We're aware of, their stance and, the things that they do. But ultimately, we are here to be disruptors. So I tell Jill all of the time, our job was to come here to disrupt the market and to ultimately enforce things, make them pay attention to the things that they haven't been paying attention to previously.
Right. Yep.
So that's really all we care about. So when it comes to marketing, we'll stay true to the mission by making sure that we're vocal about things that are happening, making sure that the women who we're connected to, whether it's consumers, our drivers, those who choose to invest, that we are the voice for those individuals because we're now on a platform to be able to share those ideas on a larger scale. So
we need a marketing director.
Right.
Trying to tell you.
We need a marketing
I'm trying to tell y'all talking about I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, so have you ever had any a letter, I don't know, a message from Uber or Lyft, like, I better watch.
Can y'all talk about it? Like,
I ain't
to an extent, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, Jill, wait a
I would
minute.
say not like direct, like letters or anything like that. But I mentioned earlier about, when you start to see that the work that you're doing is now influencing the work that others are doing.
They probably like at night now, if you want to choose a man or a woman driver, y'all
have already seen some of the things that are happening. Yeah. And Jill can get into that. I'll let her hop into that bag after me. But when you start to see that, you really don't care about what comes after because you understood what you did first. And those who are in that, in the industry or in tech and are paying attention to Black founders understand who did what first. And that influence, someone who's much larger than you, has much more money than you, and also could have done it before you.
But they died too.
Right. So, when you start to see things happen like that, you care less about, the
I know y'all check the
little
articles,
noise that happens.
check the trademark dates. Stop playing.
Yeah, they're sick. They are really sick. I should have trademarked a few more things because they actually stole one of my slogans and put it on an advertisement.
Oh.
They've so the day before the airport dropped a press release on us September 13th this year. September 12th, and you can fact check me. Lyft announced their Women Plus Connect option on their platform. The reason why they did that, because that's just a feature. It's just a button that you turn on. Apparently, it'll match you with a woman driver, right? Woman or non-binary driver. Okay, that's fine. That's a feature y'all could have been turned on for years. Y'all been getting sued out the ass for years.
And we saw the logistics of it.
Yeah.
And the day before Hartsville Jackson, the busiest airport in the world, decides to let the world know that there's a new rideshare company. You guys say, "Hey, you guys, if you want a woman driver, you can get one too." But that's the tech company.
Yeah,
I mean that's the tech industry.
Weeks before that, where like I said, we started joining, meetings and getting invited to things where they have representatives in the room. So it's not that
From Lyft.
So they go in, pretty much they in the room. They like,
yeah, we have a meeting every month at the airport.
There's these girls, and they started a rideshare company.
And hold on, is these girls and they're black?
And they're black. Yes, let's start there.
Let's start there.
And they have a rideshare company, and then with all the missing women and children that's happening too, like they probably was like, how did we not think of this? Get it on the app now.
Yeah, like that type of thing.
No, they thought about it, but you know what? Sometimes they probably don't want to receive backlash. Like, oh, so yeah, what about the men? So they,
or
they
the fact
always
that
would have served
most of the women and stuff that get harassed are African American women of color, and they just don't care about it.
They don't care. And it goes back to if they wanted to do it, they had the means to do it, and they would have
like
done
a cheating man. If he wanted to change, he would.
But those two giants they're basically a monopoly. I don't think a lot of people understand that. They're the only two rideshare companies that people really know. So really they're a monopoly.
Yeah.
So us invading that space, us getting into Hartsville is a problem for them because we now can show other people how to make money in rideshare and how to do it because you got to get through the airport first. That's how you generate revenue.
And that was the crazy part, right? That was over a year worth of paperwork.
Yeah, that took us a year to get approved.
No, first of all, that was one of our questions, honestly.
Yeah.
It was number 9, but
no problem, my bad.
But since we're talking about it now, first of all, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. Hold on.
Do
I love the hand
Yes.
clap.
First of all, like Jill and DeVynne, of course I follow you on social media. We see it, but when I saw the airport, I was like, y'all don't. This is nothing like. Oh, we gotta prove.
And the busiest airport in the world. Like,
this is not. Oh, we gotta prove at the Mercedes-Benz for. I mean, well, if they do, congrats.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is,
for y'all.
No offense.
Got a friend.
Right. But the airport as a startup tech company. I'm pretty sure they get rideshare stuff all the time, but that is a huge accomplishment. Talk about that moment once it got signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'll go back to, just being at the right place at the right time, connecting with the right people at the right time, because we were actually in the process of writing our own press release. We were about to release the, press release, and, we were like trying to hound down this lady. I was just trying to can we use this quote? Can we get somebody,
shout out to Ace.
Can we get a quote, and then it ended up not being the right person for exactly what we wanted. However, someone was able to connect me with someone else. So it started moving really rapidly. And then the lady was like, I could do you one better. Everything looks good, but let us do it. And I was like, do it. What do you need from me? Yeah. So, she had the key points from the press release we were going to release, and she did us one better by actually getting a quote from the chief. So, it all happened the way it was supposed to happen. So, we're super grateful for, Hartsfield, their connections, their team. They were awesome.
Whole idea was to, let's do the airport. That's automatic.
That was already Jill's plan.
Yeah, that's automatic.
That was already my plan, because that's what I needed to do in order to either one, raise money or continue to raise money, so I can pitch and be tell people okay, this is how we're gonna make money. We're already here. We're in the airport. This is our projections. So the airport was always in my vision.
You don't understand. One thing April and I talk about is support from people and things like that. So of course, being a startup, one thing I noticed just in business, you have to prove to people that you could do it before they start.
I just feel like that's only for Black people.
It is,
unfortunately.
It is.
Oh well,
and then for Black women, it's even worse. Because it's so y'all don't believe me? So y'all didn't think that I could do this?
Yeah.
Right.
And even after seeing the proof, right? It's still okay, well, let's see how long you can sustain.
Right.
And then it's can you do it again? And then it's just the finish line is always pushed.
Exactly.
Right.
Always.
Right. One thing that you said in the SS article is that your drivers get paid more than your competitors, right?
Indeed.
So Lyft and Uber. So is it because you want to have the upper hand in providing a better market value, or do you believe in the model with if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of you?
That's the second one. I believe that if you take care of your employees, they take care of you. When it comes to rideshare, we are simply a medium. We are simply the middleman. The driver's doing all the work. The driver's using their car. They're using their gas. They're using all their stuff. They're using all their expenses. If they put little snacks and stuff in their car, they're doing that. That's on their dime. We're just providing the medium. So taking 60% of that is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. And so I've been set on that 80-20 number since I first started the business. We'll adjust, and I've talked to drivers as we scale, because we'll adjust it if we're trying to scale somewhere, but then we'll put it back to 80, because that is that's the bread and butter. That's why people get up and get out their car. And I used to do this. I used to drive. And so when I was driving, that's really what they was paying back then. But then they started taking back some more and more and more. And I was and I started noticing, I was like, wait a minute, this ain't the same amount that
$6 to go to Marietta Camp Creek?
Yeah, no. Exactly. That's dead. And that's when I started doing the food delivery, because I was like, nah, bro, they tripping on the passenger side. And then I realized, I was like, they really taking money from people, and people don't even realize it. And so taking care of your employees, and then I don't want to have high turnover. I know
right. Have a very high.
It does. It has a very high turnover, and so I think that if we treat everybody properly, people won't leave. They won't.
That's it.
They won't leave.
Yeah.
And being in business too, I think people have this mindset oh well, if I throw them this, they'll love it here. But the reality of it, especially nowadays, baby, prices is high.
Yeah,
inflation's up. So what motivates me is the dollar.
That's it.
That's it. So we can't ignore that and think oh, people are gonna want to just stay with a company. And you mentioned, because back then you were driving, there used to be drivers or people that I would talk to who were drivers that would be this is my full-time job. They could pay a whole household. And I used to be like, what?
Yes.
There's still full-time drivers, yeah.
Yes. There are full-time drivers to this, multiple full-time drivers. So I'm trying to really capture them and provide that. That's why we're so focused on the airport.
Come on, girl.
Come on. That's why we're so focused on the airport, because all we have to do now is provide the request, which is the opportunities, the rides for them. And so that's why I just really want these drivers to understand, we're going to pay y'all. We can pay y'all, but we got to get y'all to sign in, and then we got to get y'all to pull up at the airport. But yeah.
So if somebody joined right now, the airport airport is your bread and butter. So they have
90% of our trips are either going to the airport or coming from the airport.
Okay.
Okay. Cool beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and maybe we'll let DeVynne answer this first, and then Jill, you can get into it because this is more about, like, I guess, what comes with, you know, Heride being a woman company and stuff like that. Do y'all ever have controversial spaces when it comes to, like, the transgender LGBT community, and how do y'all handle that?
I feel like there isn't like controversy. Are you saying from a consumer standpoint, like people who are just paying attention to what we're doing?
Yeah,
like,
or if you have like transgender
so
women who want to come in, and it's like,
because nowadays, the way how the world's going, and this is no offense to the transgender, if a guy put on a wig and say he transgender, it's like, well, this is
right.
You know, so like. What's that topic?
I tell Jill all the time, I'm like, we got to be careful in our responses here, because she's like, if you show up and you're presenting as a woman, then we have to treat you just like any other woman who is coming to, you know, do their inspection or they're putting in their application. But if you come presenting as a male, then we have to have a conversation. Now, if it's, you know, we're flexible, I will say that, and I think that's just the way of the world currently. But ultimately, we market to women to provide this as a resource and a means of income for women in order for them to kind of break that glass ceiling. Women are limited in the amount of income that they're able to receive across the board, across industries. And this is an opportunity for them to flex that income, to be able to meet, you know, make those goals and, you know, and do the things that they wouldn't be able to do in other industries. And I feel like we want to provide that to women no matter what package it comes in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of marketing your brand, how important is it to market your brand, DeVynne? Like, because I think people think, okay, I can create a business, and as long as I throw a couple posts on Instagram, there's my market. Like,
I will say, so for us currently, we're now starting to pay more attention to social. That really was not where all of our, you know, like we weren't putting all of our eggs in that basket per se, because people were already finding us organically anyways, whether it was through social or, you know, through earned media. And so all of our, you know, marketing efforts up until this point, and we love saying this, and people are like, oh my gosh, how? Like, all of our marketing efforts up until this point have been through earned media. We have not paid for any type of publicity whatsoever. And that is due to the relationships that, you know, I had personally, and the relationships that we've grown, you know, and it's just so silly, you know, as we grow the business, and the fact that people are just paying attention, right? You know, and so we're really proud of that, you know, being how we've been able to gain the exposure that we have thus far. But I think also, you know, being able to meet people where they are is also important as well too. So whether that's through social, or like we talked about earlier, direct media, direct marketing, where you are marketing, you know, building that email list, which we do, you know, on our, you know, website, and being able to connect with them individually. So all avenues and all channels are important. It's just kind of pulling those levers when it's most important. I think where a lot of businesses become overwhelmed in terms of marketing is pulling all of the levers at one time. And you don't have to pull all of the levers at one time. You choose, you know, when to plug and play, and you should have a cohesive marketing strategy that allows you to speak to all of your consumers wherever they are without feeling overwhelmed.
Such a goat.
I need a DeVynne.
Yo,
we
start
need
booking
a
DeVynne.
Like,
y'all gotta start booking DeVynne.
no, DeVynne,
you gotta start doing conferences.
DeVynne, you are. Listen. Okay, so because like you talked about, like just the different level of marketings and stuff like that, with today's ever changing ways of marketing and branding, like we said, internet, radio, all of that stuff. Like, what is one new marketing and branding tool that you use that separates your business from others?
New marketing tool, I would say, like, TikTok is not new, but we're starting, like, I tell them, Auntie is, I'm getting old.
Auntie old too, man.
Old, all right? So TikTok is not new. However, we understand the power of TikTok, and we understand that, you know, millennials and every group of individuals after, you know, really do see rideshare as an opportunity to increase their overall income. So we want to be everywhere, but once again, it's about pulling those levers. And, you know, and we're about to start trying a few other things like texting, you know, and I always say like, oh my gosh, like as much as like Fashion Nova and Shein, like get on my nerves. They really understand their market and they're getting better at it by the day. I'm like, if I get another thing, but then here I go
right to the website.
Like, here you go.
I'm like, oh, they got 40%.
I was just about to say,
exactly.
What you know what?
Not just buy one, get one. Okay, let me
see what they got.
Exactly. So I feel like, you know, it's just understanding what is available, and then you get to plug and play, you know, like, and you can always take something out that you feel like, okay, we've exhausted this channel, you know, let's add something new into the mix. And I think that's where we are now. Like I said, earned media has really been our bread and butter to this point, and it was super important, especially as Black founders within the tech space, to be able to build that digital footprint in the way that we did. And so now we're branching out into some other means of marketing, you know, the business, and we're excited for those opportunities.
Super excited. So like we said, since we're on the top of the marketing, so nowadays we see so many companies using influencers, right, to market their business. Do you feel there's a need for influencers in marketing your particular business?
Yes.
I was about to say, Jill, take this one.
Yes. Influencers are very important, especially in today's society. Look at Keith Lee. Like, Keith Lee is a perfect example, like what organic influencing does. Roll It Up K is another great example. She's very organic with her reviews.
Yeah,
and,
we love Roll It Up K.
Yeah, and so like she's like, though, like influencers are extremely important because that's what the kids are listening to. That's what everybody's listening to. Whenever my girlfriend gets on TikTok, she's using it like Google, and like everybody else is using it like Google. And so like when she wants to see a restaurant, or if we're going out somewhere, she's going like, straight to TikTok. Get it on TikTok. Yeah, and then checking the reviews from whatever influencer.
Yeah, YouTube. I still go on YouTube, but now it is.
No,
because
she be
like,
she be
6 minutes,
let me
straight to the point.
I saw this on TikTok. Let me show you this restaurant on TikTok. I'd be like, okay.
That's me too. Like, I don't even post on TikTok, but I do use it. Like,
I was about to say, I scroll through it and I don't post on TikTok. Well, I've been trying a little bit, but I'm not gonna get into that dancing stuff. I just use it for research. Yeah, but it's a very good tool. So yeah.
Okay, so the admiration for you guys is at an all-time high because this is just like amazing. Like, and when you said earned media, why wouldn't I want to talk to the first Black-owned, woman-owned rideshare company, you know? But it's also just a relatable story. Like, y'all went to ASU together. Like, it's two Black women, like ASU, all of that. What are some of the like tribulations and stuff that y'all still face on this journey?
Ooh. Raising capital. I feel like we have to start there.
Yeah.
I know we touched on it earlier, but we just, it goes back, right? Like from a very young age, Black children, and I think that it's becoming a little more popular like now, like we aren't taught, you know, financial literacy yet. So we don't understand the importance of money. We also don't understand, you know, how to have a healthy relationship with money in terms of if we get it, we're holding on to it. You know, we don't want to spend it, or if we don't have it, we're figuring out how to get it, and we're not getting it, you know, the best way, right? And so it starts there, but then as you grow and then these opportunities come into play, you see the, you know, this dynamic with money kind of change. And so now we're in spaces with people who don't look like us. We're in spaces with men who, you know, who have been doing this for a very long time and have been taught how to weasel their way, you know, into more money. And so we just weren't provided with those same opportunities. So I think for us, that has been a big one, is just understanding how to move in those rooms and making connections and being able to use discernment to understand who is truly looking to speak to us to help, you know, and provide that knowledge, because we're always willing to learn and listen, or who's really here to take. And we've had a lot of situations where people have come to the table presenting as one thing, but have really been snakes. So that's been a big one for us. I don't know about you, Jill, but that's like, for me, that's a big one.
That's number one. Number two would be just the weird hate that we've been getting. I be calling DeVynne because she be like, don't worry about it. And I really don't let it bother me. It's the only reason it bothers me is because it be coming from Black men. And so like, I'm someone who supports everyone. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care if you're straight, gay, trans, doesn't matter. If you're Black, I'm with it. Like, I'm supporting it. And so that's the thing that bothers me the most personally, is that whenever I go into like a Facebook group or like any of those type of groups and I talk about or I promote Her Ride, I get so much negativity from Black men. It's ridiculous. Like, it's,
well, we see it all the time.
It's weird. And I'm like, I'm not I was like, first of all, y'all can work for her ride. Like, why do y'all only see yourselves as a driver? Like, why are you limiting yourselves?
Because they're perfect.
Yeah, like,
if you work in marketing, we need social media managers. The list can go on. We need interns.
We need jobs over here.
We need board members. I mean, like, I don't really understand why.
Yeah, well, I don't know why guys limit themselves. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, like, you can come on the team. I think you just can't drive.
Yeah.
It's that, and I also think, like, when it comes to, like, I think men still have this mindset, like, working for women is just like
beneath them.
Yeah,
please,
like, you know,
get with the
women been running businesses for I don't know how long. They've been behind the scenes.
They just weren't able to be the face.
Yeah, they just weren't able to be the face. Like, stop. Like, let it go.
So what would you say you guys are currently, besides drivers? I know you just said boys. So what are like the top positions you guys are looking for?
Right now, I'm looking for my COO. I'm kind of like training one right now to try to like do that or become that role. Yeah, we're testing that out right now. Looking for a support team because right now we're about to actually looking for a street team because I'm about to like set up shop next week. So pay attention to my social media. But we're looking for people that's willing to come out and get people to sign up for her ride as they're walking out of the airport. Like a street team like that because we got permission to do that.
Marketing for you.
Yeah, real grassroots on the ground with it. Always looking for vehicle inspectors, so people to inspect the vehicles. We're paid $20 for each completed inspection. And so that's what we're looking for. And what else are we looking for?
And the inspections are super easy. Like,
I was
handing you the keys. Like, you don't have to come up with your own questions. No. They're laid out. Yes. You're not like recreating the wheel. You're just doing the same thing.
Would that be like full time or just whenever you have time?
Whenever you have time.
Yeah, whenever you have time.
Yeah, whenever you have time.
And when you say inspection, like, is it like, okay, guys, I need you to check the transmission.
But this is like when Uber did it in the beginning.
Yeah,
I think
like how Lyft did it.
They'll come look at the car.
They just can't make sure your car is presentable, the inside is good.
Okay, y'all. They're paying $20 an hour for you to look into
$20
complete.
Hold on.
Oh, not an hour. Each, sorry, don't misquote me on that one. But I'm just saying, like, $20 for each car you inspect.
More than $20 an hour because
and
you can knock
the schedule is flexible. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not even like you got to get under a hood and check the oil tank.
Inspections don't take longer than 15 minutes. So
you can knock
for $20.
Yeah.
Yo.
Per inspection.
Jill, DeVynne, y'all will get a text from me. You know, I be thinking things is more difficult than what it is. Because I saw you put up a post, and in my mind too, I'm like, you know what, Chanel, you going through something like. But then I'm thinking, well, I'm not a mechanic, right? I'm
it's like a checklist. It's like,
but I remember Uber did it when they first started. Like somebody come look at your car.
Yeah.
And you know, and y'all try me. I got that cat. I will
That's right. We never put our inspectors in a position to, you know, it's going to be broad daylight in a, you know, a lit up parking lot. You know, you're never meeting anyone at their homes. That part. Yeah.
Right. No. Okay. Like I said, y'all will get a text after
we'll talk
this.
off this.
Right. Last question, and I know we talked about everything, but how important is this for the legacy that y'all are creating?
Extremely important.
Like, this is like
y'all gonna be in a tech breaking.
Y'all in 20 years, 10 years, y'all might be in our textbooks. You know, like
I hope so.
No, they will.
They will.
I'm looking for freedom. Like, I know that there's money in this and that's cool, but I'm really just looking to do whatever I want to do for the rest of my life. I was talking about that with my lady today. Like, I'm someone that I don't think that I'm gonna really change that much because I've never been really a super materialistic person. It's like, it's a couple things that I want here or there or whatever, but I really want to make sure that my family's straight. Like, I didn't come from a line of a generation of business owners. I'm the first business owner for real in my family, and so it's like I really want to make sure that everybody's set up for the future. That's just my personal opinion. And then really just taking care of my friends and having fun. Like, I want to be like Big Meech, but in like with using my legit money, renting out commercial planes, telling everybody, hey, like all the ASU alumni or whoever came to my class, we about to fly to Cancun, like just random stuff. Like, that's how I want to be. That's the type of billionaire I plan on being. Right. But yeah, of course, establishing that generational wealth. That's for sure.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Tear.
What about me and April was just talking. I was like, I have a content idea for her ride. And everyone was like, what is it? I was like, well, last night I got home at 1:30. What we do in media, we get home really late and we park in crazy areas. Sometimes I don't even want to drive. And then too, like I said, I'm a gun license owner and I carry on with me, but you can't bring it in. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, we should broadcast like as media hosts and things like that. We come home 3:00. We want to feel safe. I was just trying.
Because we're micro influencers.
I was like, we should show like what we do and how it will incorporate of having a her ride.
Let's collab. No,
let's
for
collab.
Sure. We're
That's
always
needed.
looking for, content. We're always looking to collab, like you said, micro influencers. We understand the reach, right? I always say, like, I'm willing to work with a micro influencer before I pay someone who has millions of followers and don't really have that personalized connection with them. There's very few people who have those millions of followers and actually have the influence over those people.
What I always say, it's impact. It's not the numbers to me, because people look at me and Chanel and they're like, we threw an event like a couple weeks ago and we packed it out, and they were like. And I'm like, oh, don't let them 4,000 followers fool you. Like, people really rock with us. Like, so.
Right. Yeah. Just even now at 9 and it's dark, we still got to go home. You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking like, as influencers, media personalities, we have to cover an event till 3, 4, 2 in the morning. Yeah. And we know a lot of people that actually take Ubers and Lyft to go home, honestly. And they be like, can y'all stay with me till my Uber come here? And, it's a guy. Like, this is stuff that we hear. So I was like, what if we did a little content showing like a day in the life?
Let's talk
of
about
a media
person.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we're taking her ride to get home.
Look, another thing for us to talk about off air.
Yes, love that.
Steal it and we'll slap you.
Because we not about that. So, but y'all, okay, well, that's the end of the interview. Well, this part of the interview, y'all, we still have more to talk about, but let's get into our no-fly list.
So this one it's pretty quick. This is our no-fly list segment. And Jill, I know you emphasize that you always hear crazy stories with women talking about, we thought you was a man, this and that. What is the craziest rideshare experience that you had with Lyft? Or just driving, period? I know you said you did Uber and Lyft, but what's a story that you heard that was like, or not even a story, or did you see anything in the car? What's your crazy ride?
One of the weirdest ones I've heard was, I had that experience, not heard. I picked up a girl. She worked at a strip club, so she's a dancer. Picked her up, was taking her home. She didn't even live in the city. She lived out the city. So we getting near, because we getting near her house. We about to pull into the subdivision, and she didn't speak the entire ride. And then we're about to pull in the subdivision. She starts directing me. She's like, hey, turn that way, turn that way. And I was like, I've been driving the entire time with the GPS. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going the right way. So I was like, are you sure? I was like, the GPS telling me this way. And she was like, yeah. She's like, I put the wrong address in. She was like, on purpose, because so she told me the reason she put the wrong address in is because she had an Uber or Lyft driver last time drop her off at her real house and then came back the next day. Pulled up to her house.
That's crazy.
And was like trying to holler at her, because she came out club, whatever. It's right, but the fact that he felt the need to pull up to her house, so she was like, she don't put her real address in. She'll just, if it's a guy, she'll have him actually drop her off at that wherever it is, and then she'll walk across the street, to where she actually lives. She waits until they leaves. But she said if it's a woman, she'll direct them. And I was like, that is insane. Like, you literally do this you literally use this platform every day to go home, and you have to do that to that extreme. I thought that was crazy. And then the thing that led me to stop giving rides to people was there was a guy that refused to get out of my car because I didn't stop at McDonald's on the way home. It wasn't part of his trip. And then it was the McDonald's on Ponce. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that. But at night, that line be stupid. So like, no one's waiting in that line. So he wanted me to stop there. He was drunk. I was like, no, I'm about to take you home. You can Uber Eats it. I don't care what you do. And he refused to get out of my car. So we got to his house. He refused to get out of my car, and he kept calling me racist. And so I said, I got your racist. Now, mind you, when I used to drive, I'm not a gun owner yet, but I used to carry this big knife, like a crazy big knife. So I was like,
you got the machete.
I'm trying to tell you. So I went ahead and just went ahead and grabbed it, put my hands on the handle, and I had my phone on Bluetooth, so I just dialed the emergency number for Uber, and then they was on the phone. So once he heard that, he decided to open the door. I said, "Oh no, stay in the car." I was like, "No, you said you wasn't getting out. Stay in the car. Stay in the car."
Now you done pissed me off.
Yeah, because now I'm mad. Now I'm mad. So, but he finally got out the car. But after that, I was just like, I never had a weird experience. I had a couple guys hitting on me, and I was like, "Are you good? Like, are you good, bro? Like, that used to be my.
Do you not know?
Yeah, like, you good?" And I get it. I used to get it because like they be like, "Oh, you have such a pretty smile, bro." This not that type of no. I used to try to make my voice deeper and everything. Hey. No. This ain't that type of time. But it wasn't nothing too crazy. I've heard some crazy stories. I onboarded a driver that said that she had a guy that was masturbating in her backseat.
I believe it.
So you just gonna
Mm-hmm.
She said she had to pull over and wait till the cops came.
And he didn't leave? Or
He didn't get out. Well, she just pulled over and she was like,
I'm gonna let you finish. Policia!
yeah, like what? Yeah, like
That's wild. That's
I don't know what I would have did if somebody
Yo, people are unhinged.
Yeah, like for real, like, and then it's like you get into these situations, and it's always a man versus a woman or a woman versus a man. I'm like, well, if you remove the common denominator,
Yeah.
you don't have any issues. We haven't had an issue on our platform yet. That's all I got to say.
And I will say that's not to say that there won't ever be an issue, right? You can't 100% guarantee safety. You can go walk outside and get hit by a bus, and you didn't plan that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, our job is to make sure that we have guardrails in place where we're paying attention to safety measures.
Guardrails.
Where other companies aren't, or they've neglected to do so. So I feel like that is what separates us from other businesses, is that we do pay special attention to things that people just have chosen not to because, right? So just want to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Have y'all promoted at strip clubs?
About to start.
Yeah,
We're about to start. I've always had a plan to promote at the clubs, nightlife and all that.
Hospitals,
I'm just a grandma. I just can't stay up past 10 o'clock. For real, that's really my
go in
issue.
before they, they like 10 o'clock.
I heard that it's best to go in before
Like the
during
lunch-
the day shift or during lunchtime and stuff. So I am going to start
Meet
going
with the
up
owner
there.
and just kind of like say, listen, we
And this is
provide
the safety for your dancers, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we're going to start promoting.
Yeah, stop playing.
Listen,
You want to keep this jacket? Real hard for this jacket.
she
y'all.
is.
Stop playing. I look good.
You look good.
Purple's my color. Well, there you have it, guys. Oh my God, like y'all, we could talk on and on and on pretty much because we're learning so much. And as April and I are, business owners as well. I know you in tech, we're in media. First of all, it still go hand in hand, but we're like, no, hold on, where y'all learn this? Y'all, this has been an amazing episode.
It really has been.
Yeah.
Yes,
Awesome.
and congratulations
Thanks for
to
having
you
us.
guys for real. Like this is y'all, this is not a small thing. Like this is major, major. So we're really honored that you guys came on our platform to talk about it. Tell everybody where they could follow you to see Jill's rants and DeVynne telling her to take it down.
Yes, then text it. They're not daily anymore. We're
Doing good. I've been doing a lot better. You can follow me at The Real Jill Gates. And so that's all one word, The Real Jill Gates, all spelled how you think it's spelled. And then follow Get Her Ride. So GETHERIDE. There's only one R in Her Ride. I really hate when people put two R's in Her Ride. I pay too much money for my trademark. Stop putting two R's in my app name.
Is
Please.
this one of the rants?
we talk about you behind the scenes.
Yes, we do. We talk about you behind the scenes when you do
one
that.
R.
Every single time.
You can find so many things on us now. So it's like, or you know what kills me? The logo situation. It's like, now you see the website. You have it clearly because you reached out.
Somebody put
So how do you end up with a logo that is nowhere to be found? Not on social, not on the website.
That was crazy.
And it has two R's. I don't know. So
So
Yeah.
So you can find us on those platforms.
yeah,
And then DeVynne.
for me, it's DeVynne. That's DeVynne period STARKS.
Okay. She's not gonna respond to you.
I'm not.
Sure,
You might want to hit me up if you want DeVynne to respond.
Still,
I'm
email
just
me
telling
though.
you.
I will check that.
Devin definitely
And if you
checks the
have my
email.
number, please call. That's the best way to get in contact with me.
And you won't get the number from me. So
Period.
sorry.
Well, you already know where to find me. It is I am Chanel Simone on all social media platforms.
And y'all can follow me at it's April B __. And don't forget to follow the podcast at FHGH Podcast on all social media platforms, as well as YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and every Wednesday is a new episode, y'all. Make sure y'all come back and tune in next week. Bye.
Yeah.